I walked into that charity gala, fully aware that his family despised me. They whispered behind my back, rolled their eyes when I spoke, treated me like I was some unwelcome shadow in their perfect world. But when his sister grabbed the microphone that night to humiliate me in front of everyone, I realized something had to change. It was time to tell the truth, my truth. Hey, before I dive in, hit that subscribe button because this story, it's going to twist and turn in ways you won't expect. My name's Rachel, and 3 years ago, I thought I'd found my fairy tale. Spoiler alert, it quickly turned into a nightmare. This is how I went from the woman they mocked to the one who left them speechless. It all started on a rainy Tuesday in downtown Chicago. I was rushing to catch a cab after a grueling meeting, trying to avoid every puddle I could. Then this sharply dressed man, tall and confident, stepped right into the one I dodged, splashing water all over me and my documents. Most people might have just muttered an apology and walked off, maybe offered to replace my ruined dress. But not him. Jonathan didn't just apologize, he spent the next 2 hours with me at a nearby coffee shop, helping me salvage my presentation, even buy me a new dress to replace the soaked one. For those 2 hours, he was just a guy making me laugh like I hadn't in months, not the billionaire CEO I'd later find out he was. That moment? Magic. I didn't tell him then, but I'd built my own consulting firm from scratch. Grew up in the rough neighborhoods of Southside Chicago with a single mom who worked herself to the bone so we wouldn't starve. Jonathan and I fell into something real, driving through the city after work, swapping stories, sharing dreams. He opened up about the crushing pressure of his family business, and I told him about studying by candlelight when the power got cut off, about professors who looked at me like I was invisible. 6 months in, Jonathan sat me down, serious as ever. Rachel, he said, my family. They won't get us. They won't get you. I'm falling for you, and I don't want them to hurt you. I should have listened, but love made me blind. I thought if I just worked hard enough, proved myself, they'd come around. I was wrong. Meeting his mother and sister was like walking into a storm I didn't see coming. I spent hours getting ready, picked a navy dress, pearls, heels that killed my feet. I wanted their approval. The moment I stepped into their mansion in Lake Forest, I felt it slip away. His mother, Victoria, sized me up like I was a piece of furniture to be discarded, her smile polite but ice cold. So, you're Jonathan's friend, she said, emphasis on friend, like it was a curse. His sister Amanda was worse. 2 years younger, but acting like she owned every inch of that room, eyeing me like some exotic pet Jonathan had brought home. Rachel, she said, playing with my name like it was foreign. Is that short for something? No, I said, just Rachel. My mom picked it because she said I was destined for great things. Victoria smirked, how sweet, but it was anything but. When I told them about my business, a firm working with Fortune 500 companies, employing 15 people, landing multi-million-dollar contracts, they nodded with that same thinly veiled disdain. Small businesses are the backbone of the economy, Victoria said. Small, like what I'd built meant nothing. The whole evening was an exercise in subtle cruelty. They talked about places I'd never been, people I'd never met, acting like I was invisible. Amanda laughed when I said I'd never been to the Hamptons. You should go, she sneered, though I guess it's not really your scene. What was that supposed to mean? I smiled, swallowed the sting, pretended it didn't cut me. Jonathan was quiet on the drive home, finally saying, I'm sorry. But I knew it was just Tuesday night in their world, and I was the problem. When he proposed 8 months later, I believed things would change. They didn't. Even on our wedding day, I could feel their cold judgment like a shadow. At the reception, I overheard Amanda telling a cousin, well, at least she's pretty. Jonathan needed someone who could give him kids with rhythm. I felt slapped, but it was my day, so I swallowed the anger. After the wedding, it got worse. Invitations to family dinners would come without mentioning me. Pictures of gatherings would pop up on social media, family without me. When I was there, they'd talk around me, never to me. Jonathan struggled, caught between love for me and loyalty to them. He made excuses, told me maybe I was too sensitive. I started doubting myself. Maybe I was the problem. These were successful people. Who was I to question them? Then I remembered what my mom told me. You don't have to shrink to make others comfortable. You belong where you choose. Everything came to a head when I accidentally walked into a family business meeting. Jonathan forgot some documents. I went to his office and found him with Victoria and Amanda, papers spread out, tension thick. Victoria told him, maybe we should continue later. But I caught a glimpse financial statements, loan documents, numbers that screamed trouble. I asked if everything was okay. Amanda brushed it off, just some minor adjustments. But I knew better. Over the next few weeks, I watched the cracks widen. Victoria stopped wearing her expensive jewelry. Amanda moved back in, saying she wanted to be with her mom, but I knew she'd lost her downtown apartment. Jonathan was stressed, working late, dodging my questions. Meanwhile, my business was booming, new clients, bigger revenue, industry recognition. But when I shared success with his family, they barely listened, quickly changing the subject. One night, I overheard Victoria on the phone talking about financial struggles and exploring options. The next day, Amanda mentioned how old money understood legacy and new money didn't, clearly talking about me. Irony was thick. I was probably the most financially stable person in that family at the time. Then came the invitation to the annual Children's Hospital Charity Gala, one of Chicago's most exclusive events where the elite mingled, flashed their wealth, and wrote tax-deductible checks. Jonathan warned me, you don't have to go. These events aren't really your thing. But I saw through it. He was trying to protect me from more humiliation. I told him, I want to go. We're married. I'm part of this family whether they like it or not. That night, I wore a black dress that made me feel powerful, diamonds that caught the light, heels that lifted me up even if I didn't feel like I belonged. The ballroom was stunning, crystal chandeliers casting shadows, Chicago's richest swirling around with champagne and practiced smiles. Victoria and Amanda were in their element, gliding through the crowd, introducing Jonathan to important people, making sure he was seen with the right company. I followed like a shadow, watching Victoria bid on a sculpture without even blinking at the price, Amanda casually writing checks for Paris weekends like they were nothing. Then came the speeches. The hospital director praised the work they did, donors were recognized. Suddenly, Amanda took the microphone. This charity is very important to our family, she announced, eyes sweeping the room before landing on me. And we're grateful to be here with people who understand giving back. She paused, then said, of course, not everyone understands the responsibilities that come with privilege. Some see events like this as opportunities rather than obligations. Some think marrying into a family means you automatically get the values that built it. My heart raced. She was talking about me, publicly shaming me. It's unfortunate when inappropriate additions don't know their place, she sneered. When people from certain backgrounds try to insert themselves where they don't belong. That's when something inside me snapped. I stood up, chair scraping against marble, and said, excuse me, may I have a microphone? The room went silent. Amanda's confident smile faltered, confused and maybe afraid. She'd expected me to stay quiet, accept her humiliation like I had before. But not tonight. Victoria tried to cut me off. That's unnecessary. I walked toward the stage, legs steady, voice strong for the first time in years. I knew exactly who I was and where I belonged. Amanda handed me the mic, eyes wide. Thank you. I began, voice clear, filling the room. I want to tell you a story about a little girl from Southside Chicago, whose mother worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table, who sometimes had to choose groceries over electricity. I saw Jonathan in the crowd, pride and worry mixing on his face. Victoria and Amanda's expressions shifted, confusion, panic maybe. That girl was told she didn't belong in advanced classes, didn't have the right connections, that people like her don't succeed here. But she studied by candlelight, worked 2 jobs to pay for college, started a business with $500 and a dream. And she succeeded. The room was silent. That girl built a consulting firm working with Fortune 500 companies, employs 15 people, has been featured in Forbes, Business Week, and the Wall Street Journal. She learned that family isn't about money or names, it's about love, support, and standing up when the world gets tough. I looked Victoria and Amanda in the eye. Some people never learn that lesson. They think money makes them better, Names give them the right to be cruel. My voice grew firmer. But here's what you don't understand. When that little girl discovered your family was facing financial ruin, she didn't walk away. She reached out to her network, made deals, opened doors. When it wasn't enough, she wrote a personal check, $50 million, to save the family business that had treated her like she was nothing. Gasps filled the room. I did it anonymously through a shell corporation because I didn't want recognition. I just wanted to save the family my husband loves, even if they never learned to love me back. Victoria's face was pale horror. Amanda looked sick. Jonathan's expression unreadable. I said, "It's time for honesty. Worth isn't where you come from, it's what you do with the opportunities you get." I looked Amanda in the eye. The inappropriate addition isn't the problem. The problem is a family so blinded by prejudice, they can't see their blessing. I told the room, 3 months ago, I saw the financial documents Jonathan left on his desk. The family business was 3 months from bankruptcy, not struggling, but collapse. 70 years of legacy about to disappear because of bad management. The murmurs told me the room understood. I tried to help quietly, but it wasn't enough. So I called my lawyer, created Phoenix Holdings, transferred $50 million from my personal account to buy and forgive the family debt. The room was silent. I didn't take control. I gave them a second chance. I did it because I love Jonathan and believe in family, even when family doesn't believe in you. Tears filled Jonathan's eyes. But here's what I learned. It doesn't matter what you do for people who've decided you don't belong. It doesn't matter how much you give, love, sacrifice. I stared at Amanda. I am not an inappropriate addition. I am a successful woman who saved your family's legacy. A loving wife who endured 3 years of cruelty with grace. I am living proof that worth is earned. Chaos erupted. Victoria stood, fury barely contained. This isn't the place for family discussions. Maybe not, I said, but I've never been invited to any family discussions where respect mattered. Amanda snapped. You had no right to interfere. I did. I'm family whether you like it or not. And family helps when it's in trouble, even if it doesn't deserve it. Jonathan came forward, took the mic. She's right. I'll let this happen. I should have protected her. Rachel saved our family, our business, our future. Quietly, without recognition, out of love. And she brought strength we didn't appreciate. He looked at his mother and sister, then at me. I'm sorry. Sorry, I let you be treated like you didn't belong. You're the best thing to happen to this family. I looked at Victoria and Amanda. I forgave your debt because I love Jonathan and believe in family, but I won't shrink myself anymore. If you want me here, treat me like family. If not, we keep our distance. But the days of cruelty are over. Weeks later, Victoria and Amanda asked for a meeting. They came to my office. We owe you an apology, Victoria said, softer than I'd ever heard. Amanda admitted, I was threatened by you. You earned what I inherited, and that scared me. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. I don't need love, I told them, but I need respect. Victoria nodded. We want to try again. It wasn't easy. Trust takes time. But things changed, invitations came, questions were asked, introductions made without judgment. Jonathan and I grew stronger. I should have protected you, he said one night. You were caught in the middle. I said, sometimes you have to choose. I choose you, he said simply. Every time. Looking back at that gala night, I see it was the turning point when truth replaced pretense, authenticity replaced performance. I think about that little girl from Southside Chicago who dreamed big, who faced more than she imagined, but never gave up. I wish I could tell her the journey would be tough, but also that she was stronger than she knew that she belonged wherever she chose. We all have moments when we must decide, shrink to fit others' expectations, or stand tall and claim our space. For me, that moment was taking the mic, speaking my truth, demanding respect. That family who once laughed now includes me. The woman who called me inappropriate now seeks my advice. Those who doubted now understand I belonged all along. Here's the lesson: you belong wherever you choose to be. Your worth isn't other people's opinions or approval. It's your actions, your character, your refusal to be diminished. Sometimes you have to take the mic, tell your story, stand your ground. Sometimes you have to save those who never believed you were worth saving. When you do, you don't just change your life, you change everyone around you. You prove barriers can be broken, worth is earned. If this hit home, if you've ever felt out of place or fought to find your voice, know you're not alone. Your story matters. Your voice matters. Your presence is your right. So hit subscribe if you believe everyone deserves dignity and respect, no matter their background. Share this with someone who needs to hear they belong exactly where they are. And tell me in the comments, when was the last time you had to stand up for yourself? When did you take your mic and speak your truth? Your story might just be the spark someone else needs. Remember, you don't need permission to be yourself. You don't need approval to take up space. You just need the courage to stand tall and refuse to be silenced. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep shining. The world needs your light, even if some can't see past their own shadows. Stay strong, stay authentic, and never forget you belong wherever you choose.